Welcome to Vibrant Numerals. Today we're going to discuss the numerical vibration of the year 2025. I'm Elizabeth, and I help spiritual practitioners and anyone who's a number enthusiast to apply numerology to their work and their life. Please make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. So the year 2025, when we add up its digits, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5, we get 9. So it is a 9 year. And 9 is a numerical vibration of endings, ending of cycles, ending of really anything that can be occurring. So it could be, and because it's in the year, vibration, that means that it's throughout the whole year that we can make a lot of endings. Now, the endings don't have to necessarily be a bad thing. You can think about what needs to end or leave your life to be able to bring in something that's brand new. And we have to remember that all of our numerical vibrations always are neutral. They come to us neutral. And it's when it encounters our perspective and especially at that moment that we encounter the number, that it can go either in what we perceive as a positive or a negative way. So we have to be very aware of our perspective, which includes our intentions, to ensure that we're not moving a numerical vibration in one way or another. So we have the opportunity to make all of these endings of cycles very positive for us in our lives. Another way that we can look at this annual vibration of 2025 is to just split it into two-digit numbers, so 20 and 25. And then if we add these together, now we get a bit more of a path of how we can actually get to those endings. So whenever we're looking at a two-digit or a multi-digit number, we start from the right and move to the left to be able to see what the path is to get to the outcome, which is the single digit number at the end. So if we take all of 2025, then we see that we have to start with change. We have to make some big changes so that we can get to this two of bringing together extremes, recognizing that there are dualities and extremes in our lives and bringing them together. So then the divine energy of the zero can come in, and then we can bring together even more extremes. Now, if that's too many steps, then we can get to this 45. And in this 45, what the steps are is first, we absolutely have to take that step of making change. So we have to intentionally make change. But when a vibration of change is very strong, like it will be this year, we have the potential of things changing around us without our intention. And that's when we can feel like we're getting tossed around in the storm. So we need to make sure that we're taking conscious, intentional changes into our life. We're making those changes, and we're making those changes for the purpose of examining, changing, and building foundations. That's the 4. So by making these changes, then we're able to really look at the foundations in our life and what's been happening to recognize which of these foundations need to be broken down, which of these things that we're standing on really aren't secure anymore, and which need to be built up. What do we need to stand strong on? So then we can get to the 9 of ending the cycle. And once we get to the ending of the cycle, now we're able to allow new energy to come in and be able to begin to manifest things that are new. What's also very cool about this year is that because it's a 9 vibrational year, it means that every month is vibrating at its number position in the month. So January is vibrating as a 1. And this doesn't typically happen. So we always see January as the first month of any year when we look at our calendars that we use here in the West. But it's not always that that month is vibrating at that same numerical value. This year is special. And so that means that those energies are much bigger and they're going to be much more intense. But it also means that there's a lot more of that energy movement that's going to be changing things in our lives that we aren't going to have control over. So it's going to be very important for us to be aware and intentional so that we can use this energy for our greatest good and so that we can understand what we're seeing and experiencing around us. We also live in this world that runs on a 9 cycle. And so as we go through this 9 cycle, this is how we are manifesting. This is how we can use the energy and bring things in to the material world, and how we can connect with vibration and energy, whether it's divine energy or the energy of nature or the trees. This is one of the ways to be able to tap into that. And so this one is connecting with the energy, drawing in this new energy, recognizing it as something new. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be brand new. It could just be new to you, or you see it in a new way. And so January is a really good time to be able to look at things that are new. So if you're seeing this video after January or after any of these months, you can always go back and be able to, if you journal, look at your journals, look at your calendar and think back to what was happening in that time and what is related to the number, the vibrational number of the month. So for January, what new was coming in? This also means that any of us that were creating our annual intentions, like our New Year's resolutions in January, those are actually going to be way more powerful this year. So we're going to really want to make sure that we pull those out and that we are running them through this 9 cycle throughout this year so that we can manifest them and get them to us. So then when we get to February, now we're at this 2, and this is where we're recognizing that we have extremes in our lives and we're bringing them together. I do have additional videos on the 9 cycle as a whole, and so you can get more details on the 9 cycle and how to use that there. March is vibrating at 3, so bringing in growth. Then April is vibrating at 4, so that's where this foundation is. So this is where that 4 energy is really going to be very powerful this year, of bringing in the foundations and examining our foundations. 5 is change, and because we have the 5 at the end of the year 2025, May is going to be a big change time, so be prepared for that. June is 6, and this is where we will establish and also examine our comfort zones. What are some of the things that we're not comfortable with that we really need to get rid of? Then July is 7. This is where we can actually start taking action, because up to this point, we have made sure that we're getting into the flow of the energy. So we're in this 9 cycle, we're in the flow, which is very feminine. And so now we can add that masculine energy in to be able to take action. So 7 is action, but in the flow, nothing forced. And then August, it will be 8, where we're now establishing some of these infinitely cycling energies. 8 all the time is associated with karma because it is one of those infinitely cycling energies. But we have a lot of those in our life. Even small things like our regular daily habits and routines would be considered at that 8 energy. It's something that is continuously cycling around. And so when we recognize what these cycles are in our life, then that's when we can get to this 9, where this 9 in September and also throughout this whole year is where we can look and see, is this a cycle that needs to be solidified in my life? Because that would end the process of building the cycle and solidify it in your life. Or it can be a cycle that needs to end and you need to just cut it off and let it go and get a new habit or do a new thing. Also, because it is a 9 year, it means the portals that we're going to have in September, these 999 portals, are going to be very powerful. So you're going to want to make sure that you come back to this channel and you look at each of these months individually. You learn about this 9 cycle. And really are trying to apply this energy, use this energy, and not just get taken with this huge tide of energy that's going to come through for us this year. Hopefully this video was helpful to you today and you're going to be able to apply all of this amazing 2025 energy into your life. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share, and hit the notification bell so that you're getting all of the videos that I'm putting out so that you can apply numerology even more. Also, make sure that you click for the free numerology calculations guide. Bye!